Okay, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. I asked for a gnarly queue. I got it.
Tiana's Bayou Adventure will not resume normal operation for an indefinite period of time.
We're in the lab today, Fresh Baked, and today we are at Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Yesterday, she was taken off virtual queue. Yesterday, she was put on standby. We're gonna get in that standby queue today and do a little recon. We're gonna find out how accurate the standby wait times are right now and where the measurable parts are to see to help you figure out what the actual standby wait time is. And along the way, we'll hopefully find some other little tips, single rider perhaps, check in on lightning lane, etc. Let's get in the queue. Let's see what's up with Tiana's Bayou Adventure. We came by yesterday as part of our State of Disneyland report and found a very hectic scene here. Wait times it was 75 when we arrived here yesterday, 85 later on in the day. And what we're finding today, as of 11:15 this morning, is that Tiana's is closed. Not an auspicious start to this morning's test, not at all. But it's got good qualities and bad. Obviously bad that it's not open, and it's gonna cause some havoc, I think, in the standby queue. That's one thing we're gonna be able to observe today is what the impact is on standby when you have a prolonged closure. Hi guys, how's it going? It hasn't opened at all today. I checked the app earlier this morning about 10 a.m. Hadn't opened yet. It still hasn't opened. We are now at 11:60. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't 10. It was 9 a.m. when I checked earlier. So it hasn't opened yet, and that's going to create a problem because then you're going to have a bunch of lightning lane guests crowding the scene. That's going to really make standby a hassle. So our first observation right now is what's it like rope dropping Tiana's after a breakdown, which I hear. I can hear the ride ops doing testing up there. They haven't started launching vehicles yet. There's no boats in the water yet, but I hear vocal testing, so that could be a sign that we aren't too far off at least. And for the fact that it's been closed for 3 hours, I was expecting more loiterers. I'd be expecting more people just kind of hanging around. It's not a lot. It's kind of light. There are definitely people doing such, and I'm going to be joining them. But I would have thought there'd be more. So at 11:18, I'm just going to park myself out here in front of the entrance, and I'm thinking maybe half an hour. I'm thinking about a half an hour, considering we haven't heard any vehicles go through there yet. As I mentioned, only ride ops making their vocal announcements like that. Be observant. If you're trying to figure out when a ride might be reopening, any ride for that matter, not just Tiana's, but any ride where you can see the ride vehicles, observe, look to see if there are boats in the water or cars on the track. It is always the case after a breakdown that they cycle some empty vehicles for a little while just to make sure everything is up to snuff. It's part of their checklist, and they have to cycle, I don't know for how long or how many, but it's when you start seeing boats in the water, that's when you know that the attraction is about to reopen. 11:21, and I think I just heard boats. I heard them. I haven't seen them. Hi guys. I haven't seen them because I'm posted in a spot where I don't get a good view of the actual boats, but I think I heard them banging against the walls of the flume. Confirmed. Boats in the water. 11:38, 20 minutes later, and I don't hear too good, but I think I now hear the music and the commentary that's going on up there. We're definitely close now. All right, I called it. 11:40, game on. The test here will be to see how effective that is, by the way, how effective it is to rope drop. We spent 20 minutes, since we got here, which is fair. That's not a lot of time to wait. We should hopefully breeze right through the queue. But really what I want to see, I'm almost tempted to just stand out here and watch it happen, but what I want to see is how this queue looks when we get back. It's actually kind of smooth. I was expecting more of a mad rush. I was expecting more people, but they've already fit everybody that was out there. Hi! They've already got everybody in that was loitering. Maybe a couple, maybe 100 people, I think. Not too bad. The app should obviously be reflecting this also. Let's take a look.
Oh yeah, we're gonna eat those.
There it is. Standby open. Return time of 5:15 for Lightning Lane. Now that's the real problem. I would say, well, we're going to find out, but I predict this is going to be a no-go for pretty much most of the remaining of the day because all of those Lightning Lanes have been booking it. They keep booking these while the attraction is closed, so it's now bumped up to 5:15. So anybody who's booked a Lightning Lane between 8 a.m. and now, well, it's probably their return time isn't up yet, but all those people are going to be flooding the queue because they want to get in before the ride breaks down again. That's the real thing. Same thing with rides. So there's that. And then they're going to keep coming in as these are going to sell out. These Lightning Lanes are going to sell out probably in an hour or two, if that even. And of all the things that mess up a standby, they're set at 40 now. We've just gotten it, we've been in here now for 2 minutes. It's going to make it, 75, 80, 90 minutes probably, and it's going to be very, very sticky anytime after now. And if you're not here already, it was what, not quite, a little over 20 minutes. By the time I get out of this queue, it will already have been well too late. I'm curious to see what the wait time is. It's 40. It's not 40, obviously, right now. We're not gonna take 40 minutes. But they're prepared for that soon. It's lovely. The music, I mean. Indeed. .47, and that's our boat. 6.5 minutes. 45.
Join the band for sure.
'Y'all, please seated until your boat docks and comes to a complete stop. Then gather up your belongings and exit to your room.
So 17 minutes all in. That's the wait time and the ride time. So it's about a 11 minute ride time. In that time, you can see they're kind of posted up here as you approach the final mix. We'll see what that translates to out front as well. 17 minutes is usually longer than the window that I typically would assign to taking advantage of a breakdown. 10 or 15 maybe tops, and that's, I mean, already we were at 6. It's not a, that's the minimum. But I feel like if you get here even at 5 or 10 minutes later, you're already looking at a 15 or 20 minute wait or a 30 minute wait perhaps, but still you're doing better than 75 or 80. Oh, Pooh and Eeyore. Oh, big friends hug. Oh. I love Winnie the Pooh. That's not bad. That's not bad. They're not out here yet, obviously, but so far so good. Looks like Lightning Lane is starting to show up. Like I had predicted, you're going to see them crash this. Lightning Lane is going to crash this after a breakdown as much as Standby will, because they want to use that Lightning Lane pass as soon as possible. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Things are looking deep already. It's posted at 30 right now. It went down from 40 to 30. That's interesting. I don't know if this is a 30-minute queue or not. I really don't. Hey, how are you? Hi, how are you? Hi, guys. I have no idea. We're going to watch this for a little bit and just do a little recon before we get in again, because I want to get a little bit of a fuller queue. I want to test a longer wait if I can to see how accurate that is, but I don't know if that's a 30. I literally have no idea. How fascinating. 12:04. It's been about 5 minutes since I've been posted out here watching things grow, and it's growing quickly. Standby is definitely flowing in very briskly. They've already reopened or opened this section. This was closed when I first came out here about 5 minutes ago. All that was closed, and they were starting right here and moving in this direction. They were making this turn up and then making a U-turn right there. It took them about a minute to open this up, and it's taken them just a couple minutes now to fill it. It won't be long, I think. I might even just stay here and watch this develop. And then we'll find a point in the back of the queue and see how long that takes. I've already got a baseline now. I've got a baseline for the ride through. It's about 11 minutes, as we mentioned. So when we see them come out, we'll have to go back out there and watch the guests come out of the back of the queue. Take 11 minutes off that. We got ourselves a standby wait time. 12:06. Look at that. The problem is that in some cases, you see the thing open up at 11:40. It might take you 15, 20 minutes just to get down here because you're on the other side of the park. Tiana's is at the end. It's one of the many ends of a park, but it's not centrally located, so it's difficult to get to sometimes. If, let's say, you're in Toontown, okay, you're in Toontown. Good luck getting to Tiana's within 5 or 10 minutes of a reopening. 12:19, 13 minutes since our last update, and nearly 40 minutes since the attraction opened. Lightning Lane definitely starting to collect here out. This is a scan point. There's also going to be a queue up there. Hi guys. There will be guests. Those guests up there. See the ones moving real quick? Those are Lightning Lane up there on the inner lane. Standby is now posted at 65 minutes. The back of the queue is about where we left it in the garden, but it's starting to get denser and it's starting to take a little longer to process guests because Lightning Lane has rushed the entrance here. The plot thickens, and I'm about to show you how important even 7 minutes means to where how long it takes to get through a queue following a breakdown. We're still in this post-breakdown data set right now. We're going to be getting into just proper queue here in a minute. But I've been watching now for, let's see, 12:33. Gosh, I lost track of time. But I've been watching now for a little while. I think it's now been almost an hour since the attraction opened, and a lot has happened. 12:35 now, and the the back of the queue that I found, the first back of the queue that I found at 12:03 has already exited the attraction. The back of the queue left the attraction at 12:28. Took them 25 minutes to get to the queue. Meanwhile, 7 minutes later, the back of the queue is nowhere near at that point. The back of the queue, hi guys, is only halfway through. That back of the queue is only halfway through this extended. They've opened up all this extended out here in a short bit. And if you weren't here in those first 20 minutes or so, you would have missed Winnie the Pooh. You would, I mean, it's gonna, what are we looking at now? It's been, that guest has been in the queue now for 26 minutes already, and they've got another double that to go, I think, at least. So that's 7 minutes has made an hour's difference, I would guess, by the time it's done. Meanwhile, as we head back out to the entrance at 12:38, the back of the queue is growing and growing. It is almost at the threshold. We were almost at the point where I was a little nervous yesterday when shooting State of Disneyland. What are they going to do when the back of the queue continues past the threshold? I don't know if they have a contingency for that, you know, in terms of extra queue. Seems to me the only thing you could do at that point is to increase the ratio, the mix rate between standby and lightning lane. Instead of doing like 10 to 1 or 15 to 1, you do maybe 5 to 1 or something like that to sort of take a little pressure off the standby queue just for a minute and let some of those guests through. Because there's no place to put an extended queue. There's no place to put ropes and stanchions out there beyond that threshold. Actually, while I have a minute, I'm going to do a little recon here. There's the entrance right there. It looks like they're kind of already prepared. They've got yellow tape. What that is for is they would curl the back of the queue out here, and then they would have a cast member here, you know, creating a sort of canyon that guests have to pass. They would hold them at this point here so that guests can get into Ray's Berets, and then they would send them up, I guess, up the path here. But there are no stanchions. It would just be a totally queue in the wild. Oh, here's one. I found one. I found one. There you go, right there. And there's there's another one right there. So they could kind of sort of do it. Boy, that is really low rent, though, I have to say. Meanwhile, a story is developing that we'll be picking up in just a little bit. But the single rider queue is now starting to get into the OMG portion of our show, which is going to get a little bit more OMG here in a minute when I show you what's happened. Things have escalated, but single rider has grown to the point where they have created a queue. There's the front of the queue, single rider, goes out the threshold here, and then it's curling around this way. So single rider starting to develop into something nasty as well, and this is not all of it. This is not the whole of the single rider queue. They're going to send them into that hallway through there, but there's more queue on the other side that they have to wait in. So this is something like a Space Mountain situation for single rider, and it's probably, I have to guess, this is probably 30 minutes right now. Now I mentioned things have escalated quickly. We've gone to OMG +2 here. It's 12:52, 14 minutes since our last update, and now we're at an hour and 10 minutes since the attraction reopened after, well, it actually never did open, so opened. Amazing things have been happening, and I don't mean it in a good way, to how long it's taken to get through this queue. To recap, the very first back of the queue that I measured when I came out of the attraction was 25 minutes to get all the way through the attraction. They got into the queue at 12:03, out at 12:28. The next guest that got into the queue 7 minutes later that I measured, they're still in it. They're somewhere in there. I don't know where they are, but it took them 11 minutes to get through. I'm calling this extended one. This isn't always open. Hi guys. But it took 11 minutes for them to get this done, but 17 minutes to do this extended 2, which is, I mean, you could probably make the argument that this is even shorter than the extended 1, although it's hard to say for sure, but it should be at least similar. 11 minutes to do extended 1, 17 minutes to do extended 2. It's slowing down. It's getting longer. It's taking longer to process, but that's not even the end of that story. That's not even the worst part. There are 3 points in this queue that I've been watching. First one was at 12:03, 7 minutes later, 12:10, and then a third back of the queue at 12:19. That guest is having a rough time of it. It took them 7 minutes. It took that second guest to go from there to to the mix point, it took them 7 minutes. Now this is the guest, hi guys. This is the guest that is still in the queue, and they're probably gonna wind up spending an hour. This is the guest that got in 7 minutes after the first guest, and their time is going to be probably doubled or more. That guest took 7 minutes. The third guest took 20 minutes to get from the wall over there by the garden to the mix point. So if that's triple the time. Triple the time just to get to the mix, 20 minutes just to get to the mix point. And that wasn't even the whole time spent in the queue. They also spent a bunch of time in the garden. Hi guys. In the garden that is separately measured because guest 2 did not go in the garden. I hope that makes sense. Understand, the bottom line, the takeaway here is that 7 minutes meant 30 or 40 in the back end. 17 minutes, 10 minutes more is gonna mean triple that perhaps. The scary part is that I've been waiting for this to happen. I've been waiting to get to this point because that's when I'm gonna be getting in the queue. I'm gonna get in the queue at the worst possible moment, I think, which is by design, of course. It's just so I can see how that feels and what that's like and how excruciating it is. Hopefully it's not. But we're gonna watch this queue for a little while more, see if we can't pick up the back of the queue again on the exit, get some lunch, then get in that queue. We're gonna do it 2 more times. We're gonna do a standby, probably gonna be in the 90-minute range, and then a single rider to test that as well. Check that. This recon session is over, at least for the time being. It is over. The ride just broke down, and all of these guests are just being dumped out of the queue with no sort of recompense for their time spent, which is considerable. Neither the second or third guest that I've been tracking will have gotten through the queue. That is, let's see, the last guest was 12:19. They've been already in the queue. Golly, they've been in the queue already for 51 minutes, and they hadn't even gotten to the stairs yet. I'm sorry, guys. Gotten to these stairs yet. My gosh, they had another 20, 30 minutes to go still probably, but wow. This is the peril of Tiana's Bayou adventure while we're in this sort of reopening phase, this opening phase. It's been in this phase for a while, obviously, since the cast member and Magic Key previews, but wow. So the most we can say is this, that getting here, what was it, 12:09, getting here 30 minutes after the breakdown netted you a wait of probably 90 minutes, is my guess. They were at 51. They were at 51 and hadn't even gone up the stairs yet. So you got to figure, well, maybe not 90, maybe, well, at least another 20 or 30 minutes. So you're looking at 70 to 80. That's if you're 30 minutes late. But if you were on time, let's say, no, even 15 minutes late, you probably got yourself a 25, 30 minute wait. So there's a very narrow window there for about an hour and a half. Let's get that lunch, and then we'll try to pick this up later after lunch. Hopefully, gosh, I don't know. It's gonna take an hour or so to get this thing back online. Just gonna have to wait. So lunchtime it is then. And we are having our lunch staying in New Orleans Square. No, we've left Critter Country, Bayou Country, and headed to New Orleans Square for lunch at Tiana's Palace, where they've got a couple new offerings here. They've been here for a little bit. They're going to be here through the season. I got the new jambalaya, which previously they only had the gumbo, the chicken, andouille sausage, heritage rice, and Creole sauce. The chicken is of the shredded variety. One of the reasons why I love coming to Tiana's Palace is the buffeteria style. And today I got the mobile order, just to show you why I don't like mobile order, or one of the reasons why I don't like mobile order here at Tiana's, namely because it doesn't take that long to stand by. Even the longest of queues is 10 or 15 minutes on a bad day. But I did get mobile order because I want to show you, this is how it's given. I don't like that, you don't get it in a plate, like a proper plate like you do if you eat dine-in. They give it to you in a to-go container, and it takes all the charm and fun out of eating some of this food. So that's our jambalaya. And we also got the classic beignets. Now they're calling them classic even though they've never served them before. These are 2 fresh beignets dusted with powdered sugar and honey drizzle. They're calling them classic because these are the ones that Tiana made in Princess and the Frog. So you know, that's her famous recipe or whatever. Also served in a to-go container, which again, not as much fun otherwise. But let's take a look at this andouille sausage and chicken jambalaya. Looks okay. I don't often get jambalaya. Actually, it kind of, I don't, the presentation is just not very good. I'm sorry, I gotta say, it's not very good. But we'll try the chicken just the same. Try the chicken. I mean, it's not bad. It's chicken. I mean, there's only so many ways you can screw up chicken. And they did. It's moist, it's got some flavor to it, not too chewy, so that's good. But it's not like they haven't rediscovered a way to make chicken andouille sausage. This is the reason why you get jambalaya. Very tasty. We'll try some of the spicy. The way it should be. You need to calm down. Oh my god. Okay. Heritage rice with some of the Creole sauce. Oh my god. It's kind of like Spanish rice. That's good. I enjoyed that. The Creole sauce is pretty good too. Yeah. That's good rice. It's much easier to get a flavorful bite of rice at a theme park. If it's like the white rice is always winds up being too overcooked and dry and crumbly. But in the Creole sauce, this rice is very good. It's very moist. Another bite of the chicken with the rice together and the green onions. That's how you have to do it, obviously. Get some of that chicken, get some of that rice, get some of that Creole sauce. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of it, or not enough to go around. It's a little better that way. Thanks for making a rebound. We're coming back. All right, man. All right. It's a lot of rice, by the way. Almost all of that bottom of the plate is layered in that heritage rice. You can't really see it, but it's everywhere at the bottom, and it's very heavy, very dense, and there's a lot of it in there, as you can see. Which I don't mind saying is probably the best part of the plate for me. Well, and the andouille sausage. I missed it so much. Wow. Take a break from our lunch for a second to enjoy our dessert mid-meal. Again, these are different. This is now the third variety of beignets they serve here at Tiana's Palace. The first one is the classic beignets. Well, classic to us at Disneyland anyway. They call these classic, but that's not classic. Classics are the Mickey-shaped ones over there at the Mid-Chula Park. There's those. Inside, they don't sell those beignets inside of Tiana's Palace. They sell these, cream-filled ones. Which I believe these are still lemon-filled, but with the honey drizzle and the powdered sugar. These are Tiana's beignets. They're not filled at all. Nope, they're airy inside, which is more like the classic beignets from Mid-Chula. Maybe that's why they're calling them classic. That's pretty good. The honey really, it does present. I like that. The honey is there. I wish there was more, obviously, but it does present. Although I don't mind the lemon-filled ones, the ones they make inside. Those are pretty good, Dan, too. It's all right. It is significantly closer to the ones that they serve at Mid-Chula Park. Good job. That's an A. Get back to our lunch here. Getting some more of this rice and andouille sausage. Final thoughts. Better than passable. Not amazing, but good. At $17.49 though. The whole meal that I just bought $17.49 for this. It was like $6 for the beignets and another $5 for my drinks. I spent $28 before my discount. That's not exactly a budget meal here at Disneyland. Even for Disneyland, $28 is a lot for a single meal. $17.49 for this plate, although, like I said, you're getting a lot of rice. The protein is still a little light. Not a particularly good value, but it could be a two-man job. I'm not going to finish this. You could split this if you have modest stomachs. I'm going to finish this. Keep an eye on things at Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I hope that it reopens soon. Get back to work. Tiana's is still not open yet as we take a break from our break, as we leave lunch. So we're gonna do a little bonus recon here because I've spotted an interesting scenario at the Haunted Mansion. And where we see that it's posted 65 minutes and it has a very inviting entry into the standby queue. They're not using any of that back there. The back of the queue is actually inside the new extended area. You can walk freely through here. So this, based on appearances, on what I've seen of this queue in the, in the first few weeks it's been open, or first week, is that this area is almost always full. So it looks inviting. Also inviting is that it looks like the extended sort of greenhouse queue here, looks like they're only using about half of that, which should save you, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 minutes off your wait. The thing's full. The whole thing out here is about 15 minutes. If they're using half of it, maybe 7 or 8, right? But there is unfortunately one feature of this queue at present, and that is Lightning Lane. The last thing you want to see when you check out the Haunted Mansion queue to see if you want to get in or not is if the back of the Lightning Lane queue, well, at the threshold is terrible, okay? That is just dreadful. You don't want to see that ever. But even up towards the tents, you don't want to even see them doing a lot of scanning up there because this whole thing is full. Then it stretches down that stretch, and then it comes back. There's 300 people in that Lightning Lane queue, at least, right? And you can kind of tell the effect. You can see the effect of what this kind of Lightning Lane queue has on standby because you see a lot of folks resting. You see a lot of people sitting on the rails and just kind of stagnant and still. No movement in a queue is bad for standby. So this is absolutely a no-go situation. I mean, there's no discounts at Haunted Mansion. There really are no discounts, but you can at least improve your chances of beating the posted wait time anyway by observing Lightning Lane. At some point they have to stop showing up, right? Middle of the day like this today, middle of the day, I don't even know what time it is. It's 1:30, 2 o'clock or something like that. Middle of the day is not a very good time for that. What's interesting though is that while we're on the topic and I'm on my way back to Bayou Country, it's not busy today. It wasn't busy yesterday, and it's not busy today. I mean, a couple of the queues are. The usual culprits. Tiana's, well, when it's open. Tiana's, Haunted Mansion, and I guess maybe in Indiana Jones, although that was closed last time I looked as well. But even rides like the Matterhorn was 20 minutes when I checked last. Space Mountain was 45. Rise was 45. These attractions are pulling a lot of guests, so it's not a busy day everywhere else, but here it's madness. Good news is, as we approach Bayou Country, that was a boat in the water. Boats are in the water. We just arrived, so I wasn't actually even expecting that. I wasn't expecting to see boats, so we're ahead of the curve in terms of getting this thing back online. I can also hear as we arrive to the entrance of Tiana's, the music is on, and they've actually posted a wait time. It's 70 minutes before they even let anybody in the queue. One thing I want to observe before we even do anything is that a makeshift queue has formed. This is not a queue that Disney has set up. Cast members have not set this queue up. This is sort of an informal guest-created queue. There is no queue. As far as I know, there's no queue on a reopening. They don't queue guests up. It's kind of just a free-for-all. But we're gonna watch and see what happens if that plays out. And there it goes. Here comes the rush. See, it kind of they all just sort of filter. The queue is there, but people just hit the front of the exit or the entrance. I mean, And it's kind of a, you know, every man for himself type situation. There is no queue at a reopening. Now, unlike this morning, I'm not getting in there right away. I've already done that. I've already done the post breakdown rope drop type situation. So I'm going to let this queue ferment for a little while. I'm going to let these guests get in there. I'm going to wait. What did I say? I said it was 10 minutes to get a reasonable time. 20 minutes you're kind of screwed. 20 minutes you're looking at an hour. 30 minutes. Well, yeah, at 30 minutes it was looking like it was going to be 90 or something to that effect. So I'm going to wait here for about 20 minutes at least and see what happens to this queue, and then and then I'm going to get in it. Yeah. And that clock, by the way, is starting at 2:20. 2:20, they've gotten the first batch of guests here, the loiterers, the hangers around. Those guests are now in the standby queue, and they're going to wait for a little while. I think they're starting with a 70-minute standby because they know, just like before, that they're going to get hammered with Lightning Lane guests. The Lightning Lane guests who did show up here at whatever, it was noon or something, right? At noon in order to make sure that they got their ride in, made the right choice. You definitely want to do that. You don't want to waste any time. You don't want to wait. Get in there right now while it's running. Because in an hour and a half, just like before, it could go down again. Well, file this under, you just never can tell. Nothing is 100%. It's been 8 minutes. It's 2:28. It's been 8 minutes since the ride reopened. Check out the standby queue. They're walking freely all the way to the mix point. They're going straight in. What a tremendous difference. 3 hours later, right? The reopening this morning was at 11. This is kind of shocking. This is kind of shocking, actually. I was not expecting, this place should have been flooded, but it could be. I don't know. Could it be that some of the guests have already got their ride in, or they've given up entirely and they just don't want to try? I don't know, but and maybe because the one before was following the point where it hadn't opened yet at all that day, so there's a lot of buildup. There's 3 hours worth of buildup of people, with that intention to ride. So far, this is kind of breezy. Rope dropping Tianas is nice. Or I should say, rope dropping after a breakdown is nice so far. 2:33, 13 minutes later. And they still haven't even started sending guests into Extended 1 or Extended 2. I am bewildered. Guess I got a little time to kill. I was going to do 30 minutes, so I'm going to have to do more than that. Got some time to kill. We'll go check out Winnie the Pooh real quick. This might be the happiest I've been all day, getting in this queue right now. As much as I love Recon, I love the Winnie the Pooh queue even more. Still waiting for something to happen out there. They're still walking right into the mix point.
Grown-up types, please watch your little kids. TTFN, ta-ta for now. With me, Tigger, and being safe is what Tiggers like best. So please stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside. And grown-ups, please watch your adorable children. TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Hola.
That, not even the Winnie the Pooh queue is it's almost completely empty. It is not at all busy in the parks, just in the places that we've been, Tiana's and Haunted Mansion, but everywhere else it's dead.
Look, Mama, look! I'm a kite!
Getting on tight, Playroom.
Happy Wednesday!
What a wonderful dream. Better.
I've never seen so many presents.
Hope you like my present.
Okay, that was lovely. 25 minutes now. We have 25 minutes. It is, yeah, about 25 minutes is 2:46. The queue is starting to fill up a little bit, but still nothing like what we saw before. It was already way too late this morning at 11. So clearly the difference is whether or not you're coming in off in the morning or off a midday breakdown. Midday breakdowns are a lot more affordable, a lot more of a bonus. I guess we got some more time to kill. I'm gonna have to adjust our schedule because it's still not filling up. They haven't filled up Extended 1 or 2 yet either. So we're gonna move our schedule up a little bit. We're gonna change. We're gonna go Single Rider next. Do a little recon on that. Although I don't expect it to be very full in there, but we'll show you at least the path and how efficient it is to get from here to the ride vehicle, which I think is going to go pretty well, or maybe not. Hi. Those are guests leaving the queue. Oh my God, it's been a half an hour. You guys, I don't even know what the subject of this video is anymore. It's down again. It didn't open. In fact, it didn't open at all until 11 a.m. Broke down an hour and 20 minutes later. Took an hour off, came back online. Half an hour later, it closed again. At least they're not invested. At least they've only been in there for half an hour, unlike the other groups that were in there for an hour or more. One bit of good news is that they haven't cleared the queue. None of this queue has been cleared. I see some guests kind of evacuating on their own. They're choosing to, but they haven't cleared the queue. So it could be one of those micro breakdowns, which I've experienced one of those myself here at Tiana's. We were down or paused for like 10 or 15 minutes, so hopefully that's the case here and we can get started again. Yep, micro breakdown it is. 13 minutes later, the queue's back up and running. I'm gonna get in this single rider queue.
Wow, single rider's actually working today.
Let's hope so.
You're gonna go to Emlyn straight ahead, okay guys?
All right.
All single riders, right?
So single rider is the same as the exit for standby, so they have a cast member here to kind of keeping things straight. But this is the same path that the exiting guests would take. But instead we get met up here. Well, here we go, we're off on the side now. Normally the exit is over there. Single rider. So this is the queue that I was talking about. There's the queue outside. So it looks like they're keeping maybe 15 to 20 single riders on this side of things. And then when this side gets relieved a little bit, they'll let in a few more. So you're looking, so whatever you see outside, add 15 to 20 guests. If there's a queue out there, then you know there's a queue in here, I guess I should say. If there's no queue out there, you could have nobody in. It could be completely empty. We walked right in, but there was a queue waiting for us. And I forgot to start the clock on how long this takes. How long do you figure it'll take for 20, 15, 20? Yeah, we're about 15 guests deep at this point. I feel like this is probably a pretty good candidate for single rider. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 seats though. 6 seats, although often they don't fill the very back one, row 6. Often they just go 1 through 5. If they go 1 through 5, that's a benefit to the single rider. It creates more odd number opportunities, which is helpful to single riders. Single riders typically are filling in to make it an even number. About halfway down now, 5 minutes in, so you're looking at about 45 seconds per guest is my best assessment here. 45 seconds per guest. All right, so that's for the single rider queue in 9 minutes, 45 seconds. So that 45-second interval seems to be pretty consistent. Queue of 15 gets you done in about 10 minutes. Queue of 30, you're looking at a little over 20.
Look out, Bayou, here we come. Don't you worry, Louis. We're gonna find just what we need in the fire.
There are musicians out here that play our curtain. The Bayou's got just what we need.
We've got to keep searching high and low.
How long can I go? Time to pick me. You said this time I get you back to side. But invite your little friends to tag along too. Get you to the party. You'll get there in no time. Guaranteed.
Just about ready. Here's the Blue Sky Social Club with our local favorite, Down Like New Orleans.
ADA. That's single rider. Hi. Single rider and ADA using the same ramp. That's where we just came in from right there. 15 minutes later, we're out. And it does appear that things have picked up a little bit while we're in there. All in, that was 20 minutes actually. It was like 10 minutes to get to the boat and then 10 minutes on the ride, 20 minutes to get back out. And this is what the queue looks like now. Hi. They have pushed the queue up into extended 1, but still not in extended 2. I'm figuring those at about 10 minutes each as of now. That's like my rough estimate on how long you should spend in each of these sections there. Let's go take a look at the rest of standby. Lightning lane is too bad. They're not collecting too much. Single rider is starting to look a little sticky. I'm sorry, standby. They're looking a little posted, a little sticky. Not a lot of movement in that crowd. I don't see anybody moving forward. Everybody's standing. Well, this could be the one. Hey guys, this could be a queue to get in. They're all standing. Nobody's moving. I haven't seen a single person move yet. Oh, there you go. They got some movers up there. So that's just the back of the queue, really. Oh no, it's not. They got the garden. They're in the garden. Oh, they're barely in the garden. They haven't even filled that yet. So they filled extended 1 first. Then they're going to fill the garden, and then they'll fill extended 2 is my guess. So it's still not too bad of a queue right now. But like before, where I had no idea if that was a 30-minute queue, I also have no idea if that's a 60-minute queue. I got to get in there, but I feel like it's too early. I feel like it's too early to get in there. I want something worse. I want a gnarly queue to get into. Well, they bumped it to 70. So we're going to go now. Getting into the queue at 3:40. And it's not as nasty as I would like it to be, but I want to get this done in daylight. You know what I mean? I got to make sure we get some sunshine when I'm done here. So into the queue we go. For one thing, this is my one of my measuring points is the garden. So this whole section right here is a section that I would time if full. I think this was like maybe 7 or 8 minutes to get from here to this point to that point right there, and then I measure from there down to the mix point as well. So we are into the garden, but I can't measure this because the garden's not full. I was hoping it would be full. It is not, but we are trying to beat a 70-minute standby. I don't have any measurables outside of what I've done today. Extended 1, I figured at about 10 minutes. Extended 2, same, although it was measuring longer than that, but I don't think we have as much lightning lane competition right now as we did then, so I'm going to guess those at 10. If it's still just extended 1, and then it's another 10 to Tiana's kitchen, and then maybe 10 more to get down to the mix point, that's 30. God, I feel like optimistically we can get this done in an hour or less. I think we can beat 70, but I also think we can beat 60. That's the goal. 4 minutes. 4 minutes and I haven't heard anything. Nor has anybody else. And I'm looking around and I don't see people. And now we are finally moving at 7. It's taken us 7 minutes to take even a single step forward. My gosh, that's the definition of sticky right there. And it looks like we're not going to get very far. Oh my god, this is kind of depressing. We've reached our next measuring point across from the Children's Garden sign right here. At this point, down to the mix. And that's 15 minutes. I wanted a gnarly queue. I didn't think I was going to get it, but I got one. This is worse than the third group, the gnarliest, the worst queue that I saw in our morning run. 15 minutes to do a third of the garden. The garden was taking, I think, let me check here. One rep it was like 5 minutes. The other rep was 11. The rep that looked like it was going to be 90 minutes, it took 11 to get through the whole garden. It took us, good going, 15 minutes to get through a third of the garden. .404, 24 minutes in, still not at the mix point. Not particularly close, actually. That's what happens. Oh, so close. I was gonna say, so often I'm the one who gets stopped right there at the limit line. But we arrived here at 4:11. I'm gonna guess we're gonna be here in this spot for another 30 or 45 minutes before we get mixed in. They are doing standby dirty, even though there's not a lot of people in. There's nobody right now. That's it right there. That's lightning lane. But there's a lot of loiterers, people who are waiting for their time to come up. They're waiting for their minute to kick in so they can get in the queue. These guys just did. And so even though it doesn't look like a lot, there's always somebody in the mist there waiting to get into the queue, and they are doing standby very dirty. They are doing standby so dirty. You know what? I'm going to stand here and see what this mix rate is. Let's start counting. 6, 7. Oh, okay. Too early. Yeah. There's 9, 10, 11. Not a good sign, by the way, when you can see 2 trains go by in just a little space that we've been standing here.
Hey, freshly baked.
Hey, how are you? I forgot where I was. 11, 12, 13. He's 13. I forgot where I was. I think it's up at 13 now. There's a big group to the right. Oh my gosh. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. People are getting in the lightning lane queue when they shouldn't be. 18, 19, 20. Oh, another blue one. There we go. I think this is, okay, 21, 22. 23. 24, there you go. Those guys are, never mind, they paused it. Secret meeting. Oh dear. Don't take us down. Okay, 23. There they go, 24, 25. They did it successfully. 26, 27. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 33. We're at 33. Still going. We're at 33. They're still taking it. Good gosh. Okay, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. Oh, there we go. 43. 43, and we're through at 4:15. Whew. Now, I don't know how many they let. Is it just the three of us? No, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think maybe 8 people got in for standby. And we get to sit again. While I'm sitting here, I feel like I should correct myself. I called that the mixed point back there, but it is not. That is not the mixed point. We are a long way away from the mixed point still. That is just the threshold into the queue proper, or into the, the inner queue, let's say. But we've got to go through this section we're in now. Extended 1. They still haven't gone to Extended 2 yet, which is good. Extended 1, then up the stairs, Tiana's kitchen, down the hall, and then we mix. Good value for Lightning Lane at Tiana's Bayou Adventure. If you have Lightning Lane, really good value, especially if you do it at a time like this. You're going to save all the time. If it's posted at 70 right now, you're going to save 65 of it, probably. I asked for a gnarly queue. I got 49 minutes to get through Extended 1. 49 minutes, which makes it, let's see, that took us, where are we, at 4:29? That took us 14 minutes. 14 minutes to get through Extended 2. Oh yeah, I mean, luckily, we don't have to go through Extended 1, we don't have to go through Extended 2. They keep announcing that they're putting the finishing touches on the party and that your wait might be longer than you were expecting. And I thought, it's already going to be 80 minutes. By the time we get in there, what else could go wrong? Well, I just took a look at the tip board and it says that it's closed. Now, they haven't made any kind of announcement. They haven't said anything over the speaker, and there's no queue's not been dumped. But it's closed as far as the tip board is concerned. Which doesn't help us at all. I mean, we're going to be stuck here. I'm going to spend the 10 or 15 minutes it takes to get this thing rebooted. I mean, I don't expect people to get out of the queue, so it's just a nightmare. Oh my God, this has been excruciating. I definitely feel like we have some definite suggestions to be made at the end of this video, and then stay tuned for the summary. We're going to be doing a summary on the newsletter probably tomorrow, hopefully, on what happened. And this will be ahead of the video dropping on YouTube. But you probably would have already seen it if you're subscribed to the newsletter. If you didn't subscribe to the newsletter, go ahead. It's a cost nothing. It's free. There's just a link in the description. But I have a very strong suspicion that the queue is closed, and if we wait here any longer, they might just dump the whole queue. And that's with us presently at 55 minutes. I thought we might get done by 60. That's hilarious. Tiana's Bayou Adventure is a queue not to be messed with. Right now, it is a queue not to be messed with. Interestingly, the cast member said, hey, turn around and leave the queue. We're not going to resume normal operations. And nobody has moved. I mean, I would have gotten out. I want to see what happens now. I want to see at what point these guests do finally evacuate. Evacuate's a bad word. Just bail on the queue. Yeah, they turn the music off. That's bad. Music off means no ride. It's done. It's over, guys. It's over.
Tiana's Bayou Adventure will not resume normal operation for an indefinite period of time. We apologize for the inconvenience. If you would like, please continue to
They all followed me. Nobody was leaving until I got up and left, and now everybody's following me. That's it, guys. That's our session for the day. 3 major breakdowns, including one for 3 hours at the opening, and 1 micro breakdown just in the, wow, just like maybe the 5-hour stretch, 6-hour stretch that I've been here. Incredible. Our final verdict for Tiana's, 2 days into standby, don't do it casually. There are paths to a smoother experience, single rider, Lightning Lane, of course, and then there's the post breakdown rope drop if you can catch one. And that's about it for regular standby. It's going down so often that it is creating, I mean, just in the first 2 days so far, several opportunities for you to catch one of those, which is good. And they are effective, they do work, but you have to try to be here within like the first 20 or 30 minutes, hopefully. I mean, we saw a case on the second one where there was a nice 45-minute gap before it started getting really crazy. But I think that's exceptional. I think you're better off hoping for that 30-minute gap, or something in 20 minutes even. Standby, otherwise, is kind of excruciating. I observed a real diabolical crowd around noon, and then just now experienced what might have been the most frustrating queue ever in my personal experience, and that's saying a lot because it's extensive. So the big takeaway is if you can't catch a breakdown, then maybe don't try. At least not for those of you who are here often. If you're not here often and you really want to catch a ride with Tiana, be my guest. Do try. Just keep your expectations, reasonable. Don't think you're just going to get in there and do a 30 or 40 minute queue. It's going to be rough, and there's a very real chance that it's going to break down. They had the same experience at Walt Disney World, and I'm not sure if they're still going through that, but we're having some of the same growing pains here still. Good news is that I don't expect this to go on like this forever. Give it maybe a couple of months, and they're going to get all this worked out, and things will be back to normal. And by the way, I should add that it could be there could be good days. These are just 2 exceptionally bad days that we've seen so far. There could be good days, and if you find where you're here on a day at Tiana's and there haven't been any breakdowns, then do feel free to get in the queue. You're going to have a much better experience on a day where there haven't been prior breakdowns. It's the breakdowns that create these frustrating, excruciating, diabolical queues that we saw today. It's the breakdowns that create that because they compact the queues, they impact them, and Lightning Lane gets compressed. Lightning Lane starts to rush the thing when it reopens, and that's what causes these delays. That's why I'm standing there, in the queue for 7 minutes and not moving. It's because I'm waiting for all those Lightning Lane guests to go through. But on a regular day, when the attraction is functioning normally, Lightning Lane doesn't feel that there's not that compression of Lightning Lane showing up and jamming the queue, and they're more spread out like they should be, and you have a more normal experience. It's still going to be 45 minutes, but it's going to feel a little bit more normal. It's going to feel the queue will flow a little bit more normal. One thing I forgot to add as I make my way out of here, our lab for this day is over. One more thing. It is my it is my observation that an actual breakdown where they say they will not return to normal function, and they dump the queue, the return time on that is about an hour 15. So that helps you to plan, perhaps, if you're trying to guess when to show up after a breakdown. So if it breaks down at 2, show up here at about 3, and then look for boats in the water and music in the queue. If you hear the queue music, if you see boats in the water, that's your cue that it's about to happen. I would try to get here if you can when the boats get the water, or at least if you hear the cycling. Even that's 20 minutes. You're about 20 minutes away if you hear the cast members doing the cycle announcements. So just keep that in mind. I know we're well into this video. Hopefully you guys made it this far and picked up those tips. Again, stay tuned or look for our newsletter where I'm going to summarize those in a nice, clear, concise way to make it easy for you to digest. Look out for that. And otherwise, thanks for watching, everybody. We love you. If you want to show your support for this channel, I do appreciate it. Join our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. And then you can follow us on Instagram at _freshbaked, on Twitter at freshbakedisney, that's fresh with no E. I'm tired. On TikTok at freshbakedisney. And then, otherwise, thanks for watching, everybody. There's a link in the description, by the way, for the newsletter. Thanks for watching. I love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.